Well, the stakes are high. The United States government may grind to a halt in weeks, based largely on the Speaker of the House's decision. Now, John Boehner didn't want that hanging over his head, so he announced he would be stepping down at the end of the month. A secret ballot of sorts, of kind of vote of confidence to replace Boehner was expected today, but in a political shocker, the man with the most votes suddenly and unexpectedly pulled his name out of the race.
I think I shocked some of you, huh? I'll stay on as majority leader. But the one thing I found in talking to everybody, if we are going to unite and be strong, we need a new face to help do that.
Now, how much did your comments about Benghazi last week play into your decision to step aside today?
Well, that wasn't helpful. This Benghazi committee was only created for one purpose: to find the truth on behalf of the families for the 4 dead Americans. I should not be a distraction from that, and that's part of the decision as well.
Well, that brought cheers in conservative circles and created panic within the establishment. Once again, Washington is in disarray, but good thing we have the man who spent many years dissecting the machinations in Washington. Bill Oreilly is here with us to weigh in. He's the author of the new book, Killing Reagan, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But first, Bill, everything that happens in D.C. happens for a reason. What do you suspect is behind this sudden change of heart by McCarthy?
I have no clue. I have none at all. All I know is that Paul Ryan should be Speaker of the House.
He doesn't
want Republican
endorsement?
So what? He doesn't want it? So what?
He's being recruited today.
You make him do it.
But John Boehner's been calling him personally, saying
Paul
reconsider.
Ryan should be Speaker of the House and represent the Republican Party in that context. Everybody else who is going to be considered, A, the public doesn't know him. Okay. B, there's an ideological bent here, which doesn't do anybody any good because you want to pass laws, all right? You don't want to make policy because that's what happens at the other levels. So anyway, I don't know why McCarthy pulled out. He seems like a nice enough fellow to me, but I think Paul Ryan has got to wise up and get in there.
But can I just jump in here? The Speaker doesn't have to be in the House, right? Doesn't have to be in the House. Why don't they pull a Trump? Why don't you have an outsider come in? Bill Oreilly, for example, could come in and be Speaker of the House.
I don't want to be Speaker of the House. I got my own house to take care of, and it's chaos.
You have a number
there,
of houses.
Believe me. Look, I think Americans watching tonight are tired of this. They're tired of it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to cover it with Miss Dana tonight, but I got way more important things to do than this. All right? It's true.
Wow.
And they will come to some consensus, they being the Republicans in the House who control the House.
Yeah.
But if it's not Paul Ryan, you're doing yourself a tremendous disservice because he's respected, he's smart, all right, and they want to unite the party, he could do it.
What about Nolan Ryan?
No, I think he's absolutely right. Paul Ryan would be fantastic. That's why there's so much interest and this swell of support and enthusiasm encouraging him to take the position. But he's been pretty steadfast in his resolve that it's not something, that he wants. And when Dana and I were talking earlier, she mentioned, look, maybe this is something if he ever wants to run and be president of the United States, the path to do that isn't by taking this very, controversial, difficult position that, many people don't want because of the
is it that
different
bad?
conflicting
Is
viewpoints.
The Speaker of the House job that bad? Is
I know someone who would take it.
The
Pelosi
government
would
shutdown
like it back.
overhangs is so important that no one wants that they say we won't take the job. That you're in third in line for the presidency.
Yeah, but you also have cheers in the conservative circle over this. We have people that are happy that he's gone, the same way they're happy about Boehner. Republicans have a huge problem. It's a purge disorder. They love getting rid of people. They have no desire to replace them. If you're happy when somebody leaves, at least have a suggestion.
I agree.
I think this, what we've seen today is a political earthquake. I mean, nobody saw this coming. The eruption is such that it is clear that there is a clear divide, as you said in the introduction, between rebellious Republicans and establishment Republicans. And Paul Ryan, by the way, is considered an establishment Republican. When he put forward a budget recently, the Freedom Caucus, the group of 30 that has basically conducted this coup, said, no, that's not a good budget. We want more cuts and more of this and more of that. And Boehner had to go along with them and undercut Ryan. So Ryan does, and remember, you got 3 weeks until more government funding issues come to the plate. There's no way to please that caucus and bring people together. Certainly not if you're McCarthy.
May I disagree?
Sure.
Okay. I think that Kevin McCarthy wasn't going to win. I don't think it was that big of a shock to anybody that was watching this. He didn't have the votes.
Right.
So he had the most votes out of the others, but he didn't have enough votes. There was rumors today that he had 175 out of the 218 that was needed. So he did the smart thing. He knew he wasn't going to win. So then the question is there somebody like a Paul Ryan that can get to 218? I think that there are some women, Republican congresswomen, that could step up here. I don't have to name names. There's a few of them that are out there that I think it's time to lean in. Why not give it a shot?
The big one would be Kathy McMorris Rogers,
Marsha Blackburn,
Candace Miller, and then you have people like Chaffetz and
but
Webster.
there are options. So I don't think that I don't think there's panic.
Is it a mistake for McCarthy to back out just because he didn't have the votes yet?
I don't know. Dana thinks it is. I always agree with Dana on no matter what she says. I agree.
All right.
Very smart.
Wise man.
But look, all of these names that you guys are in, nobody knows who they are.
But does it matter?
Because
they're going to have a placeholder.
It does matter. I'll tell you why. If you're going to have a leader in the House of Representatives, that leader's got to go and cut through the fog and get to the folks and persuade them.
And Brian is very capable to do that.
But this has less impact on America right now than a Kardashian hangnail. Nobody knows this person.
They don't know him.
Well, we know who it is right now because it's John Boehner again until they find
Is
a
he
way
back,
to get to
John
218.
Yeah, he'll stay until they have it.
until they get to 218. All right, it appears things aren't much better on the other side of the political aisle. The Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton is neck deep in a scandal that's thrown her campaign into chaos. Clinton's poll numbers are sliding. Her trustworthy numbers are awful. Her favorables are tanking, but of course, she's just the victim.
The committee that was formed, we now know, to politically, in a partisan way, go after me, not investigate what happened in Benghazi. I will say the same things that I've been saying for many months now, and I think that I've been as transparent, in fact, more transparent than anybody has ever been. I don't know what to expect. I do know that it's pretty much pulled the curtain back, that this was set up to be a political partisan attack on me.
So now, Bill, did this whole flap with McCarthy saying it was political, the Benghazi hearings?
It is political.
Did they hand her a get out of Benghazi jail?
You don't think that if you don't think the Benghazi thing is political, of course it's political. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't know what exactly happened and why the Secretary of State was ignorant about the security problems in Benghazi, Libya. But if you think those guys, those Republicans on that panel, don't want to bring down Hillary Clinton, you're 6 years old, because they do. So it is political, but it is also incumbent upon the most transparent human being that's ever lived, according to herself, Hillary Clinton. And, I think Claude Rains in The Invisible Man is offended by that.
Yeah.
All right? It is incumbent upon her to explain a lot of things that she hasn't explained. So I don't mind that it's political. I just want to get to the bottom of it. And here is the bottom of it. Hillary Clinton will not be president of the United States if the FBI comes back and says she broke the law. And they may well. So that's it. It's the FBI. It's not the House Committee on Benghazi. Whatever they say isn't going to matter to Hillary Clinton. The FBI will matter. And we should have that, I would say, in 3 or 4 months.
I feel like people are forgetting that the reason that this is political was based on Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama's decision to try to blame a video for Benghazi. And actually, remember, they even kind of admitted that, we basically did that so we could help President Obama win re-election.
Right.
I mean, that's where the political issue started. Plus, I would point out to people today, if you care about law, legal issues, Congressman Trey Gowdy, who's chairing the Benghazi committee, wrote a letter today to his Democratic counterpart, Elijah Cummings. You can find that online. It is a smoking hot letter.
Epic.
Probably is like one of the most well-written congressional letters in the past.
Well, tell us what it says.
One of the things that it says.
It's 7 pages.
It is 7 pages. So the nutshell, it's kind of it's like a Brazil nut.
Keep it pithy. Go.
Okay. One of the things I think is key is to see the relationship between Sidney Blumenthal and Hillary Clinton in the emails. Additional information coming out about her helping him with financial contracts in the Middle East.
Okay.
Nothing to do with Benghazi. Nothing to do with Benghazi.
No, but Benghazi.
You know what? Bill O'Reilly has gotten himself in trouble, just like Kevin McCarthy, because he comes on this show and he tells you the truth. It's political.
But he also could point out that the Benghazi begot the email scandal.
Exactly.
Look, there's no doubt that if you vote for Hillary Clinton, if anybody in America votes for Hillary Clinton, you are not voting for a person who is going on the same mores of full disclosure than most other people go by. She's going to dodge, she's going to weave, and this is what you're going to get in the White House. So if you want that, go down and pull a level for her. Okay, because that's what it's been. It's what it's always going to be. It's never going to change. The woman does not want you to know what she's up to.
No.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of the left calling it a witch hunt that is so derogatory towards women. Like, why? I mean, they're essentially calling Hillary a witch. The fact is, the current state, no, it's true. The current state of the globe is screaming for a serious national security figure. And somebody who cannot handle email is not that person. We have Putin, who is KGB, and we have the Democrats, who are basically K through 12. They are not adults, and she is proof of this. She's got to get out.
In decisions. It comes down to her ability and transparency.
But ability to govern, and there should be a very serious look at whether or not this is a person who has the character and the integrity to be president of the United States. And it's not just, the duplicity and the lies regarding Benghazi, that blaming on a video when full well she knew that was a false narrative that she was putting forward to the American people. It's the influence peddling that we saw with the Clinton Foundation. There are a number of problems here, and that's why you see right now on the horizon. Hi, Joe.
All right, let's move on to this one. Bill, you've been leading the charge for the good guys in the culture wars for a very long time, highlighting the liberal media bias. Now, Ben Carson makes some strong points on the family, traditional values, and raising children. Listen.
We've got to stop paying attention to the PC police who say every lifestyle is exactly of the same value. No, it's not of the same value. It is very clear that intact traditional families with traditional intact values do much better in terms of raising children. When young girls have babies out of wedlock, most of the time their education ends with that first baby. And those babies are 4 times as likely to grow up in poverty, end up in the penal system or the welfare system.
And now Dr. Carson is being pummeled by the liberal media for those comments and others he made about the Oregon shooting and a Muslim becoming a president. Well, will the media pay equal attention to Planned Parenthood? Listen to a former employee of 17 years lift the veil on that organization.
When I first began working at Planned Parenthood, I trusted them and thought its leaders knew what was right. But I learned that it could not be trusted. In fact, it does not deserve to be trusted by any American, woman or man. Planned Parenthood is more concerned about its bottom line than it is about the health and safety of women.
So we have a choice here, Bill, the Carson or the Planned Parenthood. You've been saying similar things that Dr. Carson has said for a long time.
Look, I have defended Carson on all of these controversies because they're absurd and they're contrived, and it's what the far left does. And they try to diminish, they try to demean, and they, to some extent, are successful in that in a sliver of independent voters. The far left's never going to like Carson. Carson believes that Americans should have a straightforward path to success, but that path is along traditional lines. This is what you do. This is how you live. This is what you need to succeed. All of those things. The left doesn't want those judgments. They don't. They don't want the judgments. They don't want any boundaries. They're telling 15-year-old girls, do what you want. Okay, do what you want. You're 15.
Yeah.
And you can see that in the court system all over the country, by the way. So I like Carson. I think Carson is very strong on social issues, but I understand that the left and the far left despise the man, and they despise him more because he's black. And isn't that racist?
Yeah.
Isn't that racist?
I tell you, I've written some of this stuff where he's talking about the value of the traditional family, steps that people should take in terms of education, when you get a job, et cetera, if you want to avoid poverty. Now, the problem with Carson, though, Bill, is that Carson then gets himself involved with the gay rights argument and all the arguments that we've been having of late in the culture wars about gay marriage, because people are saying that when he refers to a traditional family, he's not talking about 2 loving people of the same sex raising a child.
He's not, though.
Right.
I mean, he's being honest. He's saying that a man and a woman are the optimum for children to be raised under that.
That's what
not 2 men, not 2 women.
Right.
All right? Now, you can disagree with that, but that's certainly his point of view, and he can back it up with stats.
Okay? I know, I agree.
So,
He dropped 4 stats.
why should you be attacked for that, for his point of view, Juan? Why should he be attacked for that?
I'm just telling you, I've been attacked for it, but
But why should you be attacked
Because
for it?
I think there are people who find it, look, there's a high level of out-of-wedlock birth, especially in minority communities and particularly in the black community.
Yes, 72%.
Correct. So you know this right off the top of your head.
Right.
So it is, to me, a critical issue of the moment. But there are people who will say, don't say to a woman who's had a child out of wedlock, don't say to that child that you are somehow now doomed and you can never succeed.
You're not doomed, but you really are at a disadvantage in this society.
I agree.
And that message should be into every public school in the country, but it's not, because the totalitarian left will not admit what's right in front of your face.
Right.
They won't admit it.
Well, it's dishonest. You're not helping the people in that situation by hiding the truth, by putting forward a dishonest narrative to say, well, let's not let them know how bad it's going to be. Be realistic.
But
be
worse than
honest,
that,
tell
them it's okay. Tell them it's okay.
Well, yeah.
No judgment, no judgments. Oh, my God, you know?
It's terrible.
It's just, it's racist, it's classist. It's everything. You've got to level with human beings and tell them, if you're going to have a baby out of wedlock and you're 15, you're going to be poor and the baby's going to be poor. So don't do it.
Yeah.
Is that hard?
Well, I have to say something. In Ben's defense, he doesn't say everything, you know, in the perfect manner, but he's had years of medical training, not media training. He's mastered surgery and not sensitivity, which is why we find it refreshing. There's now a report that Ben Carson left a sponge in a patient's brain. See, he's always giving back. And I find that important. But now, all these critics that go after him have not reached his heights. He's done 15,000 surgeries. He's separated conjoined twins. The people that are coming after him are this big. I think, to your point, I think it's wrong that they confuse what he's talking about out of wedlock with gay marriage.
I agree.
I think that's the mistake, because the fact is the stats aren't there for gay marriage yet. It's too new.
Right, and the stats are there on what we call traditional marriage and the outcomes, but they don't like, because the gay argument has been on the table. Now everybody's making it about gay marriage.
Yeah.
I would just say, if Ben Carson, given his numbers, he's obviously very popular. If he wants to continue to build upon that and to grow his base and to see if he can continue in this race, then he is going to have to think about some of that media training, or thinking about how he can say what he wants to say in a way that is not going to alienate people and cause headlines like this that he has to deal with every week, so that he could actually talk about things he wants to talk about. There's a way to say the same thing in a way that will not cause this controversy.
And can I just add that he should take Bill Oreilly's advice and use those stats? Because when you have the opinion and back it up with the stats, boy, it takes a lot of the heat off.
He's compelling. His candidacy, is very interesting to the American people. I applaud him for being courageous and being honest, because he's helping people by doing that.
Good to go?
Is Gutfeld a regular on this program?
And I'm also regular.
Are you really?
I can tell you about my high-fiber diet later, if you like.
I don't think that's necessary, Gutfeld.
Oh, no, I'd love to.
But I just want to know, you're here every day, you do this?
Yes, and I take notes.
Okay, good.
This is the 5.
Yes. What'd you think it was?
But guess what?